This is the Sihoo M57 Pro, the sequel to the very popular Sihoo M57. And this is the feature I most like about it. This recline is amazing. So relax muna tayo. We'll talk more about the chair right after a short word from our sponsor.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder. Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nagsisigi ka na para sa Windows mo. Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sad and depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko. Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. Check out cdkeyoffer.com. As you notice, this video is not sponsored by Sihoo or TWU, Things We Use, the Philippine distributor of Sihoo. TWU kindly sent over this chair for review, but they had no say in what we had to say about it. First things first, since the Pro is version 2 of the M57, the natural question is, what's been changed? Here's a rundown of what's new with the M57 Pro. 1. The backrest height is now adjustable. 2. The lowest possible setting for the seat is lower so it can fit shorter users better. 3. Recline tension adapts automatically to the weight of the user. Firmer for larger peeps, softer for lighter ones. 4. Lumbar support has been changed. 5. Armrests also tilt now when you recline. 6. Headrest is more flexible, range of articulation is greater. You'll notice in the first M57, there's only one point of articulation for the headrest, but in the new Pro version, there are 2 points of articulation. And it has a deeper recline than the M57, which we'll talk about. The original M57 had a lot of positive feedback from our viewers, so let's see if the Pro can continue its legacy. Or even go beyond that legacy. Some of you remember my brother Rafael, who is a fanatic when it comes to chairs.
Which most won't even notice unless they're a chair freak like me.
He was the one who did our M57 review 3 years ago, and I only watched it again after I had already decided on my thoughts on the M57 Pro. Rafael thought 2 of the points the M57 could improve on was its recline.
While the M57 does recline, it does not recline as far back as I wanted to.
And its headrest.
The headrest has been the most difficult of all the pieces to pin down.
Spoiler alert, I found both of those to be fantastic on the M57 Pro even before I reviewed Rafael's old video. So this new Pro version really has some things going for it. But let's start at the beginning, assembly. The box of the Sihoo M57 Pro is all business. Very little markings, unlike say an IP-focused chair, for example, the Grogu chair from TT Racing. It's compact and light enough to be carried by one person in a pinch. And assembly is also easily accomplished by one person. For some of the other chair reviews we reviewed, it was a real struggle to get one part or two in place to complete assembly, but I didn't have any problems assembling this chair solo. I live streamed that assembly, which you can view on our channel. The laptop I was using to stream kept crashing, and honestly, the hardest part about the assembly was keeping the stream going. Yung actual na assembly, madali lang. Once assembled, you have a very competent chair which supports you in the 4 key places: your butt, your back, your neck, and your arms. I've literally sat in this chair for hours, both for gaming and for work, and have stood up at the end without any discomfort. To be honest, I felt at first that the seat was a little too hard, medyo too taut for my taste. But when I sat on it, and when I sat on it for hours, my butt did not mind at all. So I guess it's actually set at the optimal firmness. Back support is also very good. And here also, medyo may konting kaba ko. I felt at first it was a little too firm. But when you start using the chair, the lumbar support just blends into the background. Unremarkable until you realize you've been sitting for hours and hours and you don't feel any soreness in your back. What I did feel right away was the neck support. This is something I think is a big deal because you can't be sitting in anything for long periods of time without good neck support. And the neck support of the M57 Pro is one of the best I've tried. As mentioned earlier, you can adjust it to your liking. I prefer a more angled up position. And once you have that in place, you are good to sit in it for as long as you like. The headrest supports your neck without being cumbersome or getting in the way. It's there at exactly the right position when you need it, and I encourage you to use it a lot to prevent fatigue. The better the chair supports the key points, the longer you can stay comfortably seated. Which brings me to my favorite feature of the Sihoo M57 Pro. The recline is so good. Now, this might strike some viewers as an odd thing to focus on since reclining is not the usual position you use a chair for. Kaya ka nga umuupo, kaya nga siya tinatawag na upuan, you sit in it, you don't lounge in it. Indeed, many office chair types don't even offer reclines or at best just have very shallow reclines. But a good recline enables you to sit longer because it refreshes you, it relaxes you. It takes out any kinks that have worked their way into your muscles. A recline stretch is like drinking a health potion in a game. You feel instantly rejuvenated and ready again to keep at work or gaming. And the more you can recline, the more potent the health potion is, which is why I really appreciate that the M57 Pro reclines further than any other chair I've tried. The lower you can go, the better the feeling. And even in full recline, you feel fully supported by the chair. You're not afraid that it will topple over or the angle is too much and the user is going to end up in a heap on the floor. The chair supports you fully, even at its flattest recline. What I like doing is rewarding myself with inclines after I finish a task. I finished writing an email, recline. Finished editing a segment of a video, recline. Just killed the boss in a game, recline. The workday just zips by like this. The recline in the M57 Pro is best in class. I think it even beats the recline in even more expensive chairs. And it's a feature which contributes immensely to your comfort and enjoyment of the chair. Speaking of expensive, the M57 Pro is also the most expensive chair I've personally gotten to try for the channel. Previously, I tried chairs with a max price of around 8,000. For the M57 Pro Black, the price is 12,500 pesos. The white version is 13,000 pesos. And if you throw in the footrest, it's an additional 1,500. You can get the M57 Pro at the TW showrooms in Ayala Malls, Manila Bay or at Green Hills. So the price of this chair does put it on the high side of what we've tried,
Especially considering that the original M57 was only 9,500.
but I think it's just on the right side of a little pricey. Exactly the right amount you want to spend when you're ready for a serious chair. It's on the high side, but you're getting what you pay for. A quality chair that will support you in all the right places for hours and hours of use. To be honest, the recline alone is already worth the cost of the chair. And you can easily end up with a less quality chair at a more expensive price. I've taken note of the models which are available from mainstream furniture shops, and they all look somewhat similar to the M57 Pro, but at a more expensive price. So at best, these more expensive chairs offer the same level of comfort as the M57 Pro, but you end up paying more. At worst, they're inferior to the M57 Pro, and you end up paying more. There are some downsides to the chair, quibbles which are more specific, I feel, to my own use case than flaws in general. So maybe these things won't affect you. One, I have the habit of placing my ankle and foot on a chair as I sit. I know it's not ergonomic. I've mentioned before in my other reviews that it's just the way I sit and I'm too old to change. This position though is a bit uncomfortable in the M57 Pro since the seat is uncomfortable against the bare skin of my ankle, foot, and also the base of the chair is so broad, which is usually a good thing, that my foot just can't get a proper purchase. Parang it's always slipping. It just can't find a good position near the lip of the chair. Second, the arms. I usually use chair arms to bring the chair to me. Hinihila ko siya. But since these are adjustable, they end up adjusting instead of serving as a secure point by which I can move the chair towards me. Both points really are more about my personal idiosyncrasies as a chair user, and I don't think would be a concern for most users. But I did want to mention them since a chair is a really personal thing. And before you buy, you should also consider how a chair will adapt to your style of sitting.
Speaking of personal preferences, I'm around 5'9" and 140 pounds. The Sihoo M57 Pro was very comfy for my measurements. I can easily imagine it being comfortable for someone taller than me, 6 feet plus, and it's rated to support a weight of up to 352 pounds, so definitely okay for heavier folk as well.
The M57 Pro is a worthy successor to the original bestseller. If you feel it's time to get a chair which will support you for hours and you don't have the original M57 yet, then the M57 Pro is a no-brainer. But if you do have the original M57, then honestly the changes in the Pro are nice to have, but not necessarily something you would want to rush out for and pay full price. The Pro is definitely a step up, but if you have the original, just keep enjoying the original. Thanks for watching, and as I have just completed another task recording this video, you know what reward I'm gonna give myself because the recline of this thing is just so darn good.